As a farmer, I just need stability.
Johnston County farmer Brandon Batten is used to change, but he needs one rule settled for good: waters of the United States.
It seems like every time the rules change, it swings from one extreme to the other.
Batten and farm organizations support the 2020 WOTUS definition because it provides clarity and certainty when determining what wetlands and waters the federal government can regulate.
They ensure that jurisdiction is where it needs to be, and that they're not over-regulating just seasonally wet or only wet when it rains areas of the farm and the landscape.
The EPA, though, has already proposed a repeal of that rule, which would greatly impact what Batten or other farmers and citizens do on their land or pasture after a significant rainfall.
So for example, like we have those drainage ditches, and every year we maintain them, we mow the brush and keep them cleaned out so the water can drain and flow. And should they become jurisdictional waters, that process will be at least a permitted process, if not prohibited. So now, instead of just being able to clean out the ditches and maintain the drainage, I'll either have to have a lawyer to help me file for a permit and get bogged down in that bureaucratic process.
In 2016, Hurricane Matthew turned one of Batten's fields into a 32-acre lake.
We had a tremendous amount of sediment deposited because of the flood. So we had to spend almost 2 months just cleaning out the ditch. This ditch was completely full of debris and just washed in sand from the floodwaters, and the field was the same way. We had to cut, basically barren sand off to get back to the productive soil that was in the field before the flood. All of that would not be allowed under, without permitting, under should the WOTUS rules swing back too far.
Batten says with different regulations in place, he also would have had to delay the next season's crop.
As wet as we got, it took forever to dry out enough to get on the field to start fixing it. We got it done by the spring, but just barely, and now we had to go through a 2 or 3 month permitting process with getting plans and getting engineers or whatever that process would require. Then we wouldn't have been able to get it completed by planting season. Compounded with the crop you just lost because of the flood. So now you're talking about losing 2 crops because you lost the crop you had in the field, plus you're not going to be able to plant the next one because being able to fix your field is held up in regulatory, burden, bureaucratic process.
Batten needs to make a living. He needs his water and land protected to preserve it for the next generation. But he also needs stability from the federal government.
I think farmers are going to play by the rules. We do what is right because we have to for our own operations, but also because it's the right thing to do. We just need stability. I need something that I can count on and make plans on and be able to work with and within without constraining things that I am doing or things that I may want to do in the future. And the stability is the part that's missing right now.